Hello everyone, this video is in continuation with the earlier discussed some of the important differential equations that are of second order and named as special functions. So in this lecture we will discuss about the next differential equation that is named as Lagrange differential equation. So first of all we have to look on what is the form of differential equation corresponding to the Lagrange. So the form for this differential equation is like this: x into d square y by dx square plus 1 minus x into dy by dx plus ny equals to 0. So this is the second order linear homogeneous differential equations. In the condition on n, this n must be non-negative integer, or you can say this n is nothing but it is positive integer. So we had named this as equation first, or we can rewrite this equation as in the general form like d square y by dx square plus 1 minus x divided by this x. If we divide this equation throughout by x, then we can have this form. So d square y by dx square plus 1 minus x over x dy by dx plus n by x into y equals to 0. So this is the rearranged equations which is obtained from this equation first. So we can compare this equation with the general form of the second order linear homogeneous differential equation, and from comparing with that equation we can have the value of px and qx. So px is nothing but it is 1 minus x over x, and qx is simply n over x. So it is quite evident that x equals to 0 will serve as a singular point, and further we can check by just checking x minus x naught into px and x minus x naught square into qx. So just by checking this we can show that this x equals to 0 will be a regular singular point. Clear? So it is known that this x equals to 0 is a regular singular point, so we can use the Frobenius method to have the power series solution corresponding to this differential equation. So as in case of Frobenius method, the assumed solution is generally of this form. We have to assume the solution y as summation over k going from 0 to infinity ak x raised to power m plus k. We can write the solution in terms of ascending powers or in the descending power. So here we had considered in the solution in the ascending powers of x with the initial condition that a naught must be non-zero, that is one of the coefficient must be non-zero. So we can determine the value of other coefficients in terms of that non-zero constants. Clear? So we had considered this as equation second. So using the value of y, that is the assumed solution, we can further find y prime. So y prime will be simply summation over k going from 0 to infinity ak m plus k x raised to power m plus k minus 1. Clear? So this is our equation third. Similarly, we can find the d square y by dx square, and that will be summation over k running from 0 to infinity. It is ak m plus k into m plus k minus 1 x raised to power m plus k minus 2. So this is equation fourth. So now we have y, y prime and y double prime. In next step we can use these values in our given differential equation. So just put these values and we will have x into d square y by dx square. So this is d square y by dx square. This is multiplied with x. So this will be the term ak into m plus k minus 1 into x raised to power m plus k minus 2 plus 1 minus x into dy by dx. So 1 minus x and dy by dx is this. So that will be ak m plus k x raised to power m plus k minus 1. Clear? So next is plus ny. So n is into y, and y is simply ak into x raised to power m plus k equals to 0, or we can rearrange this as first term will be, now this x is multiplied with this, so power will become x raised to power m plus k minus 1. So this can be written as ak m plus k minus 1 into x raised to power m plus k minus 1, plus the next term will be when this 1 is multiplied with this term, so it will be simply ak m plus k into x raised to power m plus k minus 1, and the next term, that is when this is multiplied with this x, so the power here will become x raised to power m plus k. So minus of ak into m plus k x raised to power m plus k. Clear? The last term is plus n times y, so it is simply n into ak x raised to power m plus k equals to 0. Clear? So next step we can further simplify this as we had just combined the terms with the x raised to power m plus k minus 1 and with the power x raised to power m plus k. So the first two terms will become summation over k running from 0 to infinity ak m plus k into m plus k minus 1 from the first term plus m plus k into x raised to power m plus k minus 1. So we had combined these two equations or these two terms, the first one and this one, by taking ak and x raised to power m plus k minus 1 common. So it will be m plus k into m plus k minus 1 plus of m plus k there. So that is also exactly written here. So it is m plus k minus 1 plus m plus k, clear, into x raised to power m plus k minus 1 minus of the last two terms. So ak, taking this as common, so it will be m plus k minus n into x raised to power m plus k equals to 0. So name this as equation 5th. Clear, you can clearly see that on the left hand side this is a polynomial which actually contains different powers of x. If we put the value of k, then we will have the different power of x on the left hand side, but on the right hand side there is 0. So the only possibility when this equality can be satisfied is that the coefficient of different power of x on the left hand side must be 0. Only then this equality can be satisfied. So that's what exactly written here. As this equation is a polynomial, so it can be satisfied only when the coefficient of each power of x is equal to 0. So in next step we will just equate the coefficient of different power of x to the 0. So we'll start with the least power. So we can clearly see from equation 5th, and look at this term, the first term and the second term. When we will put k equals to 0, this term will correspond to x raised to power m minus 1, and when we will put k equals to 0 in the last term, this will correspond to x raised to power m. So we are starting with the least power. So obviously the least power is coming from this term when k is 0, so it is x raised to power m minus 1. So least power of x raised to power m minus 1 and coefficient for that must be 0. So that will become, by putting k equals to 0 here, so it will be a naught. So a naught, this is m into m minus 1 plus m equals to 0. So this will be our initial equations, clear? And just simplify this. So we will have m square minus m plus m. So there is only m square is remaining into a naught, clear? So obviously we know that a naught can't be 0. The only possibility that is coming out is m must be 0. So that is the root of our initial equations, and the value of m is 0. It means both roots are having the same value, and that's equal to 0, clear? So in the next step we will further equate the coefficient of the next least power, that is x raised to power m, clear? And x raised to power m can be obtained by putting k equals to 1 here. So it will be x raised to power m plus 1 minus 1, so x raised to power m there, and by putting k equals to 0 in this term. So you can put, or you can equate the coefficient of x raised to power m, but that will not give any conclusive evidence, so you can skip this. That is the step, that is equating the coefficient of x raised to power m to 0. You will have this type of equation, but there is no conclusive evidence, so just left this equation as it is. Now again you can see from equation 5th, the first term is in x raised to power m plus k minus 1, and the last term is in x raised to power m plus k, clear? So if I have to equate the general power, that is x raised to power m plus k, so what I have to do, we have to simply shift the summation index so that this first term can also be written in terms of x raised to power m plus k. And how we can do this? We have to shift k by k plus 1. When this k is shifted by k plus 1, so it will be m plus k, so it will be m plus k plus 1 and minus 1, clear? So that will give you x raised to power m plus k. So we have to shift k by k plus 1 in the first term, and then the summation that is earlier starting from 0, now it will start from k equals to minus 1, clear? So again look at this. In this step we had just shift the summation index. So now the summation, earlier it is starting from k equals to 0 to infinity, now it is starting from k equals to minus 1 to infinity. As k is shifted by k plus 1, so that will be ak plus 1 into m plus k plus 1, m plus k plus m plus k plus 1 into x raised to power m plus k. Now this term becomes in the power of x raised to power m plus k. Earlier it is in terms of x raised to power m plus k minus 1. And the last term as it is, because it is already in terms of x raised to power m plus k, so it is minus of summation over k going from 0 to infinity ak m plus k minus n into x raised to power m plus k equals to 0. We can further simplify this as, look at this term inside the bracket. So m plus k plus 1 is there, m plus k plus 1 is also there, so we can take m plus k1 common. So the remaining term inside the bracket will be m plus k from there and plus 1 from there. So overall we can combine this to write m plus k plus 1 whole square. Clear? So this term becomes summation over k going from minus 1 to infinity ak plus 1 into m plus k plus 1 whole square into x raised to power m plus k minus summation over k from 0 to infinity ak m plus k minus n into x raised to power m plus k equals to 0. Name this as equation 6th. Clear? So now both terms are in the power of x raised to power m plus k. So in general we can equate the coefficient of this x raised to power m plus k to the 0. Clear? So just by equating the coefficient we will have this result. You can clearly see from equation 6th, if I equate the x raised to power m plus k, so coefficient will be ak plus 1 into m plus k plus 1 whole square equals to ak times m plus k minus n. Clear? So ak plus 1 is m plus k minus n divided by m plus k plus 1 whole square into ak. So this is for all possible values of k, that is when k is 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. And earlier from the initial equation we have m equals to 0. Clear? So in next step we will put m equals to 0 in this relation. So ak plus 1 will become m is 0, so it is k minus n, and that can be written n minus k with the additional negative sign, and as m is 0 so it will be k plus 1 whole square into ak, and that's for all values of k. And this equation, that is equation 7th, is nothing but it is known as recurrence relations, because from this relation we can determine the various coefficients just by substituting the value of k. If we start with k equals to 0, then we can have the value of a1 which is in terms of a0. When we'll put k equals to 1, so we'll have a2 which is in terms of a1. Clear? And so on. So in the next step, putting k equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on in these equations, we can have the value of a1. a1 will be, when k is 0, so this is minus n over, so 0 plus 1, so it is 1 square simply into a0. Clear? So this is the value of a1. Similarly a2, for a2 you have to put k equals to 1 here. So a2 will be minus of n minus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 square, so it is 2 square into a1. And a1 is earlier known in terms of a0, so we can put the value of a1 here. So this minus minus will become plus, and this will be n into n minus 1 divided by 1 square, 2 square into a0. Similarly a3 will be, for a3 we have to put k equals to 2 here. So a3 will be minus of n minus 2 into a2 divided by 3 square, and a2 is also known in terms of a0, so we can use this value here. So it will be minus of n into n minus 1, n minus 2 divided by 1 square, 2 square, 3 square into a0. So in this way we can find the value of ak also. So ak will be simply, ak will be minus 1 raised to power k n, n minus 1, n minus 2 up to what? Up to n minus k plus 1. Clear? We can see when it is a2, so it is n, n minus 1. When it is a3, it is n, n minus 1, n minus 2. So when it is ak, it will be n minus k plus 1. Clear? Divided by 1 square, 2 square, 3 square up to what? Up to k square into a0. Clear? So in next step, we can simplify this just by multiplying and dividing this term by n minus k factorial. So after multiplying with n minus k factorial, this term, that is n, n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, n minus 4 up to n minus k plus 1, then n minus k factorial. So that entire term can actually be replaced by a single term, that is n factorial. Clear? So minus 1 raised to power k, in numerator there will be n factorial, and denominator this 1 square, 2 square, 3 square up to k square can be written as k factorial square. Clear? And as we had divided by n minus k factorial, so n minus k factorial into a naught. So that is the general value of the coefficient ak in terms of a naught, and this is our equation 8. To get the Legendre polynomial, we have to put a naught equals to 1 here. So after putting a naught equals to 1, ak will be simply minus 1 raised to power k n factorial k factorial square into n minus k factorial, and we had marked this as equation 9th. Clear? So in next step, we will simply put the value of ak in our assumed solution. So assumed solution is of this form, that is summation over k going from 0 to infinity ak into x raised to power m plus k. So m is coming to be 0, so it will be simply x raised to power k here. Clear? And the value of ak is, as determined in the last step, it is minus 1 raised to power k n factorial k factorial square into n minus k factorial multiplied with x raised to power k. Clear? So this is the form of our assumed solution, which is of this form after putting the value of ak. So look at these terms, minus 1 raised to power k, it's okay, n factorial k factorial square into n minus k factorial, and you can clearly see the summation is actually starting from k equals to 0 to infinity. So when k is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so there is no problem in evaluating this particular term or this factorial term. But when k is n, when this summation will become k equals to n, so this term will become n minus n, that is 0 factorial. So 0 factorial is defined, that is equals to 1. But when k is equal to n plus 1, then this term inside the bracket will become negative. Clear? And we know that negative factorials are not defined, or you can see the argument of the factorial must be positive. So we have to restrict this summation to go beyond the n. Clear? Because after becoming k equals to n, this term will always be negative inside the bracket, so the factorial for negative argument can't be evaluated. So we have to stop where k becomes n. Clear? Below k equals to n, there is no problem in evaluating this term, but after k equals to n, we cannot evaluate this, so that cannot be serve as our solution for the differential equation. So that's the reason that argument of factorial can't be a negative number. So we have to change the upper limit of this summation from infinity to n. Clear? So the solution will become like this: y is equal to summation over k going from 0 to small n minus 1 raised to power k n factorial k factorial square into n minus k factorial into x raised to power k. Now this expression can actually serve as a solution to our differential equation, and this is nothing but this is known as Lagrange polynomial, and which is denoted by Lnx. Clear? That is Lagrange polynomial of order n, small n. Clear? So this is the expression, or this is the solution for Lagrange differential equation, and we must remember this form. Let me repeat this: summation over k going from 0 to n minus 1 raised to power k n factorial over k factorial square into n minus k factorial into x raised to power k. So now we can just put the value of n here to get the different Lagrange polynomials. Clear? As this is a Lagrange polynomial of order n, so by putting n equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on, we can get the different Lagrange polynomial. So we'll start with the L naught x. So for L naught x, we have to put n equals to 0 here. So n is 0, so there is only one term, single term, and this entire term will become 1 x raised to power k, and k is 0, so this will be simply 1. So L naught x will become 1. Clear? Simply for n equals to 1, we will have L1x, and then now summation will start from 0 to 1 minus 1 raised to power k, so 1 factorial, there is 1, no need to write, k factorial n minus k, so 1 minus k factorial into x raised to power k. So now there will be two terms, the one term corresponding to k equals to 0 and the other term corresponding to k equals to 1. So the one term will be 1 and the second term will be minus of x. So L1x is nothing but it is 1 minus x. Clear? Similarly, for after putting n equals to 2, we can have the value of L2x, and L2x will be this summation over k going from 0 to 2 minus 1 raised to power k 2 factorial k factorial square 2 minus k factorial x raised to power k. So after simplifying this, we will have 2 minus 4x plus x square by 2. So this is the form of L2x. Clear? And similarly we can find L3x, L4x. L3x will be 6 minus 18x plus 9x square minus x cube over 6. Clear? So just by putting the value of n in this solution, we can find the different Lagrange polynomial of different order. Clear? And we can see L0 x is 1, L1x is 1 minus x, L2x is this. So we are not having a symmetry from these Lagrange polynomial, or we can say this Lagrange polynomial is of this type, that is, it is neither odd nor it is even, because we can check whether the polynomial is of even nature or whether it is of odd nature just by simply replacing x by minus x and checking what is the behavior. So look at this L1x. If I replace x by minus x, so it will become 1 plus x. So that cannot be written in terms of L1x. And similarly for L2x we can check. So we can say this lnx is of this nature, that is neither odd nor even. And since this solution of this differential equation is in terms of a polynomial, so every other algebraic polynomial can also be expressed in terms of Lagrange polynomial just by simply using these different order polynomials. And the order of that algebraic polynomial will correspond to the highest degree or highest order of Lagrange polynomial. Clear? So that's all for today. Thank you.